number one biggest mistake that most people make is thinking that discipline and willpower alone is enough to stick to your goals without burning out. As a result of this, you need impossibly high levels of discipline and motivation if you want to actually achieve this goal. But there's a much easier way. Let me introduce you to the discipline pathway. Now, as always, the timestamps are on screen and they're down below in the description, but that's enough hanging around. Let's get right into the video. The biggest reason that explains why you're feeling so burnt out all the time, no matter how hard you try and stick with your goals, is that most advice out there tells you that you need to set one of two types of goals. Let's say, for example, the new year comes around and you're feeling like you eat a little bit too much over Christmas and maybe you've not exercised as much as you used to. So as a result of this, you decide you want to lose a bit of weight. And let's say that you decide that you want to lose a stone, which is a little over 6 kilograms. But the problem is, it's January the 6th. And January the 26th, you have a wedding that you want to go to. So you want to achieve this goal of losing a stone, but you need to achieve it fast, very fast. Instead of going about this in a healthy way, where you gradually restrict your calories and you start to exercise a little bit more, you resort to a diet of nothing but watermelon smoothies. Even though you're doing most things right in terms of setting a goal that is specific and has a time deadline to it, you're not going about this in a healthy way at all. And even though you accomplish the goal, the wedding soon passes and you resort back to your unhealthy ways and pile even more weight on. And that brings us to mistake 1 out of 2. Oftentimes, beginners set specific goals, but the problem with this is that after they've achieved this goal and achieved this target, they've got nothing left to work towards and resort back to their original ways. Alternatively, if this doesn't sound like you, I can guarantee that you're making this second mistake. If you do so, you're going to lack any sort of focus and the discipline that's necessary if you want to see out your goal long term. Instead of making the first mistake and setting a super specific goal, you go the other direction and go way too broad. Now, realistically, that might look like saying you want to be a more confident person or you want to take more adventures. So then we have our two types of goals that most people mistakenly make. And a specific goal is finite, whereas a general goal is much broader and has no sort of end destination. Whilst there's nothing intrinsically wrong with having these types of goals, the reason why you're feeling so burnt out is because they need to be combined together. And few people actually do that. So the point here is that you need a mixture of specific goals that make the short term exciting. So for example, saying within 4 weeks, you're going to run a sub 20-minute 5K, mixed with general goals that tell you how you're going to go about the specific goal in a sustainable way. So for example, you might say you just want to be a healthy runner. And if we take a look at our discipline pathway, you can see how we start to achieve this result. Because within the triangle, that's where we're going to put these specific types of goals. And then in these kind of half moons around the outside, we are going to put our broad goals. But before we do this, there's one stupidly important thing that we need to understand that nobody's ever taught you before. To understand what this secret type of goal is, that'll finally allow you to stop relying so heavily on discipline and motivation, I need to let you in to a little secret. That the craziest thing about goals is that you can achieve them realistically by any means necessary. Say, for example, you have the goal of saving £100,000. Now, there's plenty of illegal ways to go about this. Say, for example, robbing a bank or scamming a load of pensioners. But I'm sure if you are a kind, respectful, caring person watching this channel, you're going to want to go about this goal in a much more rational, reasonable way. And the key to finding this rationality is finding a type of goal that links the general goals with the specific goals. And these are something I like to call value-based goals. If you're familiar with the channel, you'll know that I'm a huge proponent of the 3 pillars of life. Essentially, I think that in order to maintain a healthy and fulfilled life, you need to make sure that you're balancing 3 different areas. You need to balance your health, you need to balance your wealth, and you also need to balance your mindset. If we take a look at just one of my discipline pathways, you'll see how this relates to the pillar of health. You'll see in the very top of my pathway, I have a value that I want to achieve. something that I think is important in my life. And that's written at the very top above the enclosed triangle. And I have written, I admire and appreciate the value of a healthy body. This value is the third secret type of goal I was talking about, and it will finally allow you to stop feeling burnt out because you can link your goals and your general goals. I need to show you how to do this, and you need to listen closely because there is a super specific way of doing it. But before I tell you the easy way of doing this, if you are enjoying the video, please leave a like. And if you enjoy the type of content all about how to improve your life, subscribe to the channel where we release a new video each and every Monday. Like I mentioned before in the video, in those semicircles around the triangle, we are going to put 3 different general goals that relate to having a healthy body. And for me, you can see that these goals are to be more confident, to not live in a retirement home when I'm older, and to be athletic enough to do adventurous things. Now, the amazing thing with all of this is that these 3 goals don't have any sort of end date. They're goals that I can continue working towards for the rest of my life. And then at the very top of the triangle goes a super specific goal that I want to achieve kind of in a soon-ish time frame. And for me, you can see that is I want to have a 6-pack. Then what you're going to do is you're going to divide this triangle up even more. And you're going to split that specific goal up into increasingly manageable steps, things that you can take action on sooner. So underneath having a 6-pack, you'll see I identified 2 kind of separate smaller goals, one of which is maintaining a healthy diet, and the other is exercising regularly. Then I've gone even more specific, and underneath that, I've split up and specified what that actually means. So we're breaking that specific goal down into clear, manageable steps. As you can see, for a healthy diet, I've said that that involves having 30 different types of plants or more a week, and also trying to keep around the 2,600 calorie mark. In terms of exercise, I put down that I want to maintain a push-pull leg split about 3 times a week. Also, try and do some sort of cardio, whether that's running, 3 times a week also. But this is just one of my discipline pathways. And the great thing is you can make as many of these as you like, each of those different pillars of your life: health, wealth, and mindset. Just as an idea of some of the other types of value-based goals you might want to think about setting, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. You might have the value of having a healthy mind, the value of financial freedom, to own your own business, to have a happy family, or maintain a strong social life. All of these are fantastic values and things to find important. And then you can repeat the same discipline pathway for each of those values. But after having these smaller goals written down in your pathway at the base of the triangle, you're going to need a way to stick with these and find the motivation to carry these out on a day-to-day level. To find out the easiest way to execute these tasks every single day, you're going to need to watch this video.